Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am Carrick, so we're continuing on as Chile in this playthrough of Victoria 3 that is not a very great tutorial, but hopefully people that are newer to the game and just trying to maybe get some ideas or hopefully people are finding some use in what we're doing here, because I think we're honestly playing a quite successful run as Chile. In fact, things are doing quite well. 1862 here. In terms of our political dynamic, we're about to finish this up with a good 54% chance for this to succeed, and this will be quite a bit more taxation than what we're getting currently with the per capita taxation. So that'll bring us back into the green there. I mean, we have a lot of construction. I feel like we have a lot of construction capacity here, if that's what we want to call it. Now that we're actually doing the iron frame building, which is pretty nice. So that's pretty good. We're building, 24. We're building stuff at a brisk pace here, So, which is really really nice. So I think the political situation is firmly. I mean, we have high legitimacy. Most of our clout resides within the two parties that are making up the government. Again, that we've got multiculturalism, we got universal suffrage, presidential republic. You start with that, but still, I mean, we've enacted almost public schools, public health insurance. I mean, this is a for 1862. I mean, like, we're a little ahead of schedule here. I think what we'll probably want to do is we'll probably want to eventually, now that we've enacted all these things, the ends justify the means. We'll probably now finally want to maybe move away from censorship. We probably could have actually done that a little bit sooner, to be honest. Other things is, potentially getting a primary school going for the children instead of having them working in the mines and stuff, and doing a home affairs type institution or something could be interesting as well. So there's some things we're cleaning up there, but for the most part, we've gotten over the main hump of it, I think. 50% literacy, good standard of living, 19 in the world. We could definitely increase that quite a bit, especially now that we're going to be entering a golden age economically, especially once this proportional taxation comes in. What is our... Oh, we are... Okay, so... Yeah, I mean... And the consumption tax, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the tax situation looks like. We have a lot of building that we're doing, right? We have a lot of building that we're doing, so this is costing us quite a bit, but I guess there's even the interest cost here. And we're working on right now technologically, we're working on the mutual funds, and we were thinking this is going to give us more minting, which is good because a lot of our income comes from minting. But we were also thinking that this publicly traded modifier, it's going to increase the number of capitalists, and then presumably if we're taxing via a proportional taxation, having more capitalists and the you know what I mean? So that might be a good sort of feedback loop there. And I think the capitalists, because that's right. The main reason why we're doing that is because we're trying out the laissez-faire economic system, and this gives you more investment pool contribution from capitalists. So adding more capitalists to the workplaces, essentially, I guess, is going to make just more of those individuals that can contribute to the pool. So our country is probably a little bit too small for that laissez-faire to actually be really good, whereas the aristocrats getting benefit from the aristocrats that you get with the interventionism, I think, might have been stronger. But eventually we'll work into it, and that's part of why we're doing the mutual funds. I think, honestly, we can just sort of keep going here. One thing, if we look here, I think we could use some more tools, which will require some more coal and some more... We actually have a little bit of extra coal. Require some more steel. I don't know how we're doing on the steel situation. Honestly, we could... why is the steel... Shouldn't the steel plant be making 60 units of steel? 65? This would actually even go up to even more. I wonder why the steel's not output. It says it's productive. I don't know why it's not outputting. Let's. It could be it could be transitioning the worker modes. Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more steel once we have. But it should be producing more than it's saying. So I think we're okay on that. So let's get another tool. Yeah, let's get another tool workshop, which is doing well currently. And let's also get another glass workshop. Although, wait a second, the other side of this would be just to go up and use lead to make more glass. Right now we're producing, what, 30? And we're using mostly wood. Here we would use less wood and then use more lead. So that's the other way to look at that. What's our lead situation looking like at the moment? We're not making lead. So let's each of these is 20, but then there's ways that we can modify that. Let's get some lead and see what we can do with that. We have 1 sulfur. Getting more hardwood is always good. We have a lot of actual just wood, which is okay. Having cheap wood is good because that's a big input for a lot of the things. Let's get another gold mine down there. Apparently this colony's finding gold. Finding gold. Can't have enough coal. Can't have enough coal. You know, the fishing wharfs that what we could do is let's see if there's actually an import available for fish. Because what the fish... Really, there's no one that's just producing just tons and tons of fish? Because I'm thinking what the fishing wharf could do for us is it could let us utilize the grocers, the grocery industry more sort of more completely. The other thing is we could actually have the fishing wharf. If it's 25, we could put a couple of these over here. Actually, what I'm also realizing, we're just gonna have a little bit of an infrastructure issue. 4 infrastructure, 2 infrastructure. Minus 19 infrastructure. What the heck is, why do we have minus 19? Wait a second, what the heck is going on? How do we have minus 19 infrastructure? When did this happen? When in the world did that happen? Have we just been ignoring our infrastructure the entire time? No shot, right? What the heck has happened? I mean, in the short term, we could try to throw down a decree or something. I mean, how did that happen? We might have literally just been ignoring our infrastructure, just la-di-da. That's terrible. So the infrastructure in our other 2 states is barely holding on. Barely holding on. So we're going to need a port here at least. But I think we're going to need full-on railway, which the rail adds plus 20 infrastructure, produces some transportation, uses coal and engines. So we're going to need a engine, we're going to need to make motors. So we're going to need a motor industry, which this uses steel, which we're making steel, so that's good. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be ending up in the golden age that we thought we were going to be ending in, to be honest. In fact, I've realized that this infrastructure is like priority uno right now, I think. Holy cow, this is a problem. This is a problem. I want to at least fit it. Here, let's get this rail. Let's get this stuff up to the top here. And I'm going to put these to the bottom. The reason why those are important is because they're going to consume engines, and we don't have engines at the moment. So we're going to make a motor industry for the railway, but the thing is we're not going to have anywhere for these. We could maybe try to export some of these motors. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what we can do. But like now I'm thinking, okay, low priority would be the glassworks, because we realized we could just use lead to boost the glassworks that we have, so we don't need a second one. The logging is fairly low priority. I think all of these fishing areas are kind of low priority. This port's kind of a higher priority, to be honest. We might as well finish this because it's almost built. Gold before lead. I don't know. See the railway there. Okay, so maybe we're not in a golden age quite yet. We'll have to. That kind of shocked me. How did this infrastructure situation catch up on us like this? That is insane. I did not. We've just been building at such a furious pace that I kind of forgot and didn't realize that was a situation that was going on. Let's get this passed. Okay, good. So that's at least going to get us in the positive here. Now, I'd like to be able to reduce this down, but then we'd be in the negative again. Let's let this burn off for a little bit. It doesn't seem like anyone's actually that upset about that adjustment. What were we just talking about that we could do? We could potentially try to move out of the censorship. This actually requires human rights to go where we want to ultimately go, and we need human rights for this too. So human rights is a technology we'll have to get next. What can we do in the meantime? Don't tell me. Human rights. Oh, you need free speech. Okay. This is actually kind of nice because what can happen is when you have multiculturalism, you tend to get a huge flock of people to your country. But the truth is we don't have that many unemployed peeps right now. So we technically could... Do we do this piece by piece? Landowners of the Catholic Church are marginalized. Do we do this one step at a time? We're going to get a technology spread penalty that we could remove. Yeah, we could do this step by step. But this is just going to anger everybody more. I think we might chill out here a little bit. I don't know if there's anything we actually need to adjust here at the moment. We need the human rights. I'm kind of curious exactly why this isn't even an option. It must be okay. So no one in government right now wants to support that. That's okay. You know, we're not using our actual infamy, our influence. So let's just butter some peeps up. Why is it not letting us butter up with England? Because we're already like max. I don't know if that helps with any of the trading or anything. Like makes the trades more efficient or something. So this rail is going to get done. This thing is going to lose us a ton of money, but it is going to give us that infrastructure, which I think immediately will... I think all of this is going to be quite good. Okay, so civilizing mission finished. We should be colonizing at just an... Actually, no, it's not that we're colonizing it. We need to upgrade here, and then we should be colonizing at just an insane pace. Come on. So we might... I don't know. Is there a place where we could actually import engines? British market. Very inefficient to do this. We don't have the convoys. We need ports. Dye works accident. People dying at the dye works. Increase worker safety. So I'm realizing actually the port situation's pretty high priority because we need the ports to bring in and we're just going to get this built, and I'm hoping that the infrastructure, we'll just be able to get this infrastructure fixed, because really that not having the infrastructure here is just killing us. I can't believe we didn't even realize that. We're just building, 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 building. We didn't even think about it. Actually, I have a little bit more authority as well. That railway should be coming online, the steam trains. But yeah, so we don't have that penalty, and that should be pumping this up quite a bit. So tax capacity is totally fine. Infrastructure could be better, but technically we're sort of above there. Let's get another port too, just to really buffer it, because at some point I'd like to actually remove that edict that's adding the infrastructure boost, because we don't need to be wasting our authority on something like that. Speaking of which, though, we could just increase a manufacturing industry. We're going to be losing this eventually, but let's do this for now. It's going to just boost everything. You know, GDP is just going to probably take a little bit of a bump up just in that alone, making a few thousand more. We're gonna be able to lose a lot of this money, chances are, with some of the things that we're like the railway is going to cost us quite a bit. So we're going to be losing quite a bit of money here in a second, I think. Plus, apparently we need another government admin building, or we could go and look and see if the government admin buildings could be enhanced in any way. It looks like they're already maxed out. So we just need another government admin building. We actually need people coming to Chile. We need some people migrating to Chile is what we need, because I'm realizing we got a little bit of a population situation up in here. We don't have the peasants to work all these jobs. So I mean, there's a world in which we could do full-on open borders, for crying out loud, just to get people coming in. Oh, discriminated pops disallowed from migrating. We don't have any discriminated pops because we're multiculturalism. So I'm not sure if having... I'm not sure if changing this would actually make any difference whatsoever. All pops disallowed from migrating. Closed borders, all pops. So you just grow via your birth rate, basically. So we should have quite a bit of migration going on. And what I could do actually to bolster that even more is we could actually do greener pastures to get people moving to Santiago. Take a couple thousand. We're making it, when we put that other edict on, we make a couple thousand gold. But I think the people are going to be more important than anything, to be honest. Okay, let's make sure that motor industry is kind of working. Should be making 40 steam engines. Some tools and some coal. I'm going to go up to this so that we get more steel. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, let's try to export these locomotives if anyone's willing to take them. Answer is not really. We just need to get the other rails online. Because the railways themselves will use up the locomotive. So I think, yeah, let's just get those at the top, since we're going to need a ton more ports. Yeah, there's some inefficiencies with the economy right now. We're going to need a lot more government admin buildings. There's some serious inefficiencies with the situation right now, so thank goodness we're making just kind of a lot of money. You can see even the GDP is kind of up and down. I think that was that edict that we added and subtract. Whoa, now it's saying 17,000. What just happened here? The investment pool kicked in, apparently. which is going to run out here in a second. But for what we're building right now, I guess there's some investment pool. That government admin thing got finished. Is there any more institution? This is going to move, so that's going to be a little bit. But we should have some ports right now. We should have some additional convoys unless they're getting sucked up instantly. Yeah, every time we build a port, the trade routes that we already have active are flexing. They're flexing. Oh, that's what we're doing. We're importing fish from Scandinavia, and it is fairly productive. It is productive, so maybe we don't need... Maybe just one fishing wharf, because what did it actually say here for fish? Are we getting what we need? Well, yeah, actually, we are basically getting what we need. And we're doing canneries. Okay. $30 fish. Is that per level? So we're building another, yeah, it is, because we only have level 1 right now. So we're building another one, so it'll be 30 more fish. Yeah, I think that trade route actually with Sweden's actually going to work fine. I actually don't think we probably even need to build that fishing wharf. Mutual fund's about to be done. That's going to give us a little bit more minting as well, so that should be more income in that from that perspective. How are we doing on universities? Because really poorly, actually. Because we got money. So let's start building up university. We might even, honestly, there's a world in which we might even build some barracks and stuff. But we need more peasants. Human rights, human rights. So what we could do, and this might kind of do a little bit, this might shock the economy a little bit, but we could go to publicly traded. So it'd be 50 additional capitalists would be involved. And it's actually saying we'll lose some money because those capitalists are expecting some kind of return, right? But some of their wealth that they accumulate will tie back into the investment pool. So we're specifically doing this to try to enhance the investment pool. It looks like it's 50 per level of industry in all these areas. One of these, lead, glass, okay. Now we're eventually working on doing this, right? Do we have that lead? Yeah, we're working, so we'll do, okay, so apparently you can't have the capitalists even investing in that building until it's, until they're doing some more sophisticated stuff. It's not sophisticated enough yet. I'm going to try this, and I don't know if this is going to literally explode or not. But I'm going to try this. Now, can we set any of this stuff to privately owned? Publicly traded, I mean to say. That's kind of interesting. I mean, a sugar plantation, publicly traded sugar plantation, okay. So this is probably going to be a massive issue. This is probably not going to work the way I think it's going to work because we've literally just sort of, we're just asking for like, can 4,000 capitalists please stand up? You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. We'll see. We'll have to give it a few minutes for that all to kick in, I think, at least. Oh, I guess technically, actually, there's the development stuff. We can have a publicly traded rail. Okay. We're making so much as a buffer here, I'm not too worried about it. But again, that's going to be money that we're going to dump into more infrastructure, more ports, and more infrastructure, more ports, more government stuff that we're going to have to actually pay for. In universities and such, so it will be a big one. Honestly, if we're overproducing the engines a little bit, that'll just keep the prices lower and make the railroad maybe, I don't want to say profitable, but maybe more profitable than it would be otherwise. I think it'll take a few minutes to see if the investment pool is actually not... well, I guess it's using the new construction. Okay, so we are getting... It's just constantly, like, there's just a good amount of being generated sort of constantly. But if it was ever to accumulate... Whoa! For how long does this last for? 5 years? That's fine. Making the trade unions more influential is not a bad thing. We could reform the government. I'm just curious if any of this would increase legitimacy, and the answer to that is no. We're working on human rights because that's going to unlock a bunch of technologies that we want to do. Not that concerned with this here. We need more convoys. So I honestly, I'm tempted to literally just go through and just mass add ports everywhere. Like, why are we trading this stuff away? I don't know. Why the heck are we not in? Where the heck is our... What's going on with our livestock ranches? We only have 3 of them. They all seem to be doing fairly well. But we only have 3 of them. How are we doing on the meat? Overproducing? So I guess what we must have lost a trade route. Here we go. Russia. 85 convoys, 200 at high productivity. That's what we need. So this trade route should be upgrading over time. Now the thing about the wine is tea can replace wine. Oh, we can't do tea. No peasants in Los Rios. Oh man. There's no peasants there. We're in trouble. Greener pastures in Los Rios. Hopefully we can get some people moving into town here. Coal mine's also trying to be built in Los Rios. And this logging camp. We're going to cancel the logging camp. There's no way all of this stuff is going to be operated. Yeah, we got ourselves a situation. We need more peeps, and we are doing some things to try to push people in. It's interesting that everything seems to be humming, but the GDP is not really going up very quickly. So actually, if we did free trade, we'd trigger Marketplace of the World. I don't know, like, I don't know what you get for doing any of this stuff, to be honest. Greater than 10. Oh, you know what? That's actually something we could do now that we have rail. We can come here, and we could say we could give rail access, and this reduces labors, which we really need to kind of be doing. The problem is I don't know how much transportation are we actually generating. There's a world where these railways might actually just be flat out profitable. Oh, we're subsidizing them apparently. I think with rail, they're basically by default, they're subsidized kind of as a default mode. The coal's very expensive. And then there's wages, obviously, for the people that work here. 5 less infrastructure in order to get more transportation at the cost of a little bit of wood. I think that's actually kind of what we want. But this needs more infrastructure in this area now. So let's get rid of the greener pastures because we're reallocating our workforce. We don't need that active. Still, we'll do road maintenance in Santiago to cover the shortfall of there should be tons of infrastructure in these areas, which is good because we could then go into those railways. And we can set these to all produce more transportation. In fact, if they start providing more transportation, that should increase a little bit of wood, which is basically nothing. They should become more profitable as well. And the subsidies should be paying less in subsidies. I mean, that's fairly productive. I mean, we'll have to see how this goes if we run this for a little bit, but these subsidies, I don't know, we might not even really need them, to be honest. I mean, I'm okay doing them, but and wasn't there something we could maybe do in the urban centers to get more transportation? Public trams. Plus 50. Oh, okay, this will, wait. Goods consumption, 50. What does this give us, though? If it can, why would we? Goods consumption. Goods consumption. So this is just a way, maybe this is a way just to eat transportation that you have in excess, so that you can kind of just give it to It gets rid of labors, and you consume transportation, and presumably if you have excess transportation, that's really not that bad. So maybe that's the thought process there. If we had more glass, we could do this. We were talking about trying to expand our glass production, either by going up the modes, by having a lead. How are we doing on providing services to the peeps? We're actually over providing services, which is interesting. Okay, so transportation kind of counts as a service. Keeping the services a little bit low, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I kind of wouldn't mind getting either reducing this or getting rid of the consumption taxes. We'll reduce that. We don't need to be pooling money. In fact, we'd ideally be spending small amounts of money. Mechanized looms, we've already done that. It's interesting. I've never played as a country where I've gotten to the point where I needed to like figure out how to rejigger things so that we had more unemployment. And you can see that we've actually gotten, because of this automation, we've actually gotten a lot of I'm actually thinking we could even build an entirely new rail line. In Santiago to get that additional infrastructure that we need, but also use up those extra locomotives that we're not using. I think we just need to kind of cook through everything that we have going. Motor industry throughput, we don't really need that. 3,000 progress towards the steel rail cars. So it just sort of helps us do this tech. The only thing I was wondering is, so it just saves us like a year of research. That's not too bad. The railway building throughput, that would be like more transportation, right? That'd be good in the short term, but I think this is actually going to be just a permanent little bump there. Although it's going to be a while before we actually care about that. It's just going to save us a little bit of research time. We need to get rid of the child labor. Keep the children off the factory floor. So we're colonizing this at a brisk pace, I think. I'm actually kind of, oh, wow, okay, so this has actually gone way up. We've actually reduced it. It's amazing how that works. Within the right context, at least. We've reduced taxes, and that's given regular people a little bit more, partly because obviously, you know, the game is like, it applies the tax rate based on the law, presumably fairly. So, you know. Anyway, so we're low. So when we lower the tax from here to here, we are actually legitimately giving a lot of the lower income people more purchasing power, so that they can go out and presumably, I guess they're just buying stuff. I guess. We don't really need to be exporting. Okay, hold on. I'm canceling. I don't care how efficient this is. I'm canceling this. It's not even that efficient. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. This is Argentina's trade route, so I don't think it's they'll cancel, maybe they'll cancel that, I don't know. So I want to make sure that our furniture factories are getting a little bit of a breather there. Now, why is the wine production so sort of weak here? We only have one wheat factory, that's why. Wheat farm, I should say. We need more explosives. We need more explosives. Are we making dynamite yet? No, we're still in nitroglycerin. This is a fairly productive building. I think honestly we just add another one of these. This paper, okay, this paper bill is getting sweated. This paper, oh wait, no, wait a second. Let's chill on the paper mill and instead go up to the next, that we might still need even more. The interesting thing about the paper mill is really, even if you drive the cost down on paper, paper is just so critically important for a lot of things. We're gonna have to hope that we're making the dye and the sulfur from somewhere. But No, I'm kind of realizing though, guys, we're we're going a little late on this episode. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. I think we are now barely starting the golden age, as we've reconfigured some of our worker base and stuff. Our population is going up, and we're actually building at such a furious pace that I think we're using that extra population. We might even add more construction sectors, or even start looking into what it would be like to go to steel frame buildings, which it's telling us it would be very expensive to do this, but I'm almost kind of wondering, you know what I mean? How far we really are from this. We'd need lots of steel and lots of glass, but I don't know. Anyways, guys, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it, guys. I will see you guys in the next episode, and we'll continue on as Chili.